John Davison Rockefeller was born on July 8, 1839, in the quiet, rural community of Richford, New York. The air there was fresh with the scent of farmland, and life was simple, but it was also hard. His father, William Avery Rockefeller, was a traveling salesman known for selling questionable cures and tonics. Some admired his charm, others distrusted him. He was often away for weeks or months, chasing opportunity on the road. His mother, Eliza Davison Rockefeller, was the complete opposite, deeply religious, disciplined, and committed to raising her children with strong moral values. From his mother, John learned thrift, patience, and the importance of faith in God. She taught him that every penny counted and that hard work was a blessing, not a burden. She believed in living within one's means and giving to others whenever possible, no matter how little you had. From his father, John learned the art of negotiation, persuasion, and understanding people, lessons he would later use on a massive scale in business. As a boy, John was not particularly loud or playful like some other children. He had a calm, serious nature. While other boys might be out playing in the fields all day, John often preferred activities where he could count, measure, and keep track of things. Even at 7 years old, he was thinking like a businessman. He began raising turkeys and selling them to neighbors. Every cent he earned went into a small notebook, his very first ledger. In that little book, he carefully recorded every sale and every expense. It was more than a child's game. It was training for a lifetime. When John was still young, the family moved to Oviedo, New York, and later to Cleveland, Ohio. Moving meant new beginnings, but also new challenges. His father's absences were more frequent, and money was often tight. To help the family, John took on small jobs. He mowed lawns, dug potatoes for neighbors, and even helped build fences. He treated each task seriously, no matter how small. By the time he was a teenager, he had already developed 2 habits that would define him: saving money and keeping precise financial records. He once said later in life, "I was trained from the beginning to work and save." That training became the foundation of his empire. At 16, Rockefeller found his first real job, assistant bookkeeper at a produce commission firm in Cleveland. It was 1855, and America was changing rapidly. The railroads were expanding, cities were growing, and new industries were beginning to rise. In this job, young Rockefeller learned about buying, selling, and shipping goods. He studied invoices, calculated profits, and watched how experienced businessmen made deals. He was fascinated by how money flowed through a business, and he absorbed every detail like a sponge. But Rockefeller was not just an observer. He quickly became known for his reliability and honesty. If he said he would do something, it was done. He worked long hours without complaint. He believed that trust was the greatest currency in business, and he earned it daily. He also believed in order and discipline. His desk was always neat, his numbers always accurate. These small habits would later scale into enormous advantages. By age 20, Rockefeller was ready for his next step. He partnered with a man named Morris Clark to form their own business, Clark and Rockefeller, trading grains, meats, and other goods. This was a bold move for someone so young, but Rockefeller was not afraid of risk as long as it was calculated. The American Civil War broke out in 1861. And while the war was tragic, it created enormous demand for supplies. Rockefeller's firm supplied food and other goods to the Union Army, earning strong profits. But while others enjoyed the short-term gains of wartime business, Rockefeller was thinking ahead. He began noticing the growing potential of the oil industry. At the time, oil was mainly used for kerosene lamps, replacing whale oil as the primary source of light. It was a new and booming industry, but also chaotic and unstable. Most businessmen wanted to drill for oil, chasing quick riches. Rockefeller saw a better way: refining oil instead of drilling it. Refining allowed him to focus on efficiency, quality, and steady growth. In 1863, he invested in his first oil refinery in Cleveland. Just 2 years later, he bought out his partners and began expanding. He built bigger refineries, streamlined operations, and reinvested profits into further growth. In 1870, Rockefeller and his partners formed the Standard Oil Company. From that point forward, the name Rockefeller would be tied to one of the most powerful businesses in American history. Standard Oil didn't just refine oil, it controlled nearly every step of the process: refining, storage, transportation, and sales. Rockefeller made deals with railroads for cheaper shipping rates, allowing him to undersell competitors. When he bought out smaller refineries, he often kept the most skilled workers and improved their operations, making them more profitable. By the early 1880s, Standard Oil refined about 90% of all oil in the United States. This dominance made Rockefeller enormously wealthy, but also controversial. Many admired his business genius, while others accused him of ruthless tactics and monopolistic practices. Rockefeller, however, saw it differently. He believed he was bringing stability to a chaotic industry, lowering prices for consumers, and improving the quality of products. He once said, "Singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life." For him, that purpose was clear: to refine oil better and cheaper than anyone else. But the world was changing. In 1890, the Sherman Antitrust Act was passed to prevent monopolies. In 1911, after a long legal battle, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Standard Oil had to be broken into 34 separate companies. Many thought this would ruin Rockefeller. Instead, it multiplied his fortune. He still owned shares in the new companies, and as they grew independently, so did his wealth. By this time, Rockefeller was already turning more of his energy toward philanthropy. He believed that with great wealth came great responsibility. He said, "I believe the power to make money is a gift from God and should be used for the good of mankind." In the second part of his life, Rockefeller would give away more money than most people could even imagine, funding education, medicine, and science. His journey from a boy with a small ledger to the richest man in the world, and one of its greatest philanthropists, was only halfway complete. Asterisk as the years went on. John D. Rockefeller's name became a symbol of determination, vision, and discipline. Even after stepping away from leading Standard Oil, he continued shaping the world in profound ways. His later years were dedicated to philanthropy, donating vast sums to education, science, and public health. His funding helped fight deadly diseases, build world-class universities, and create opportunities that still benefit people today. Rockefeller believed that true wealth was not simply the size of your fortune, but the size of your impact. He once said, "I believe the power to make money is a gift from God, to be developed and used for the good of mankind." For him, success meant not only achieving personal goals, but using that success to lift others. Despite his immense wealth, his lifestyle remained disciplined. He valued his health, kept a strict daily routine, and loved spending time outdoors. He enjoyed owning some of the finest cars of his era: Cadillacs, Packards, and other premium models, symbols of his achievement. Yet he often reminded people that money was a tool, not a master. From a boy selling candy to becoming the richest man of his time, and then transforming into one of history's greatest philanthropists. Rockefeller's journey is proof that no dream is too big and no beginning too small. His life shows that wealth becomes truly meaningful only when it creates a legacy of good that lasts beyond your.
If you like our video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.